Hey guys, and welcome back to Link's Awakening DX. Very nearly flood the title there. Don't matter, we don't do retakes anymore. We've got 2 out of 8 instruments of the siren, so we're going to go get the third one, which resides in the prairie. Let's do this.
Because that's what the owl... I assume that the owl is talking to us in those white screens, but then again, once those white screens go away, the owl then shows up and talks to us. Like I said, you are really hurted in this game. And it's not too bad, like, while you're playing it. Once I go back and think about how often the game just outright told me what to do, where to go, that's when it starts to get on my nerves.
This seems like some kind of scrapped Pokemon design.
The Mad Batter?
Is that his actual name?
That's his actual name, is the Mad Batter.
Are we dead?
Yes, we are cursed. We are cursed to carry more magic powder.
Oh,
if you
no!
Want, I know. If you want, you can cycle him to allow you to carry more bombs. Or if you have the bow and arrow to carry more arrows. But I was like, just give me the powder. I don't even care.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, Bow Wow is just feasting on everything near me.
Weren't we meant to take him back to his owner at this point?
We will. We're getting to there. But like I say, if we're going for the big hundo, we got to get all the items. It's essentially the double edge of 100%ing a game. You get to show the entire game, but then you gotta see the entire game.
Yeah, to do the entire game, you gotta show the entire game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was saying to Maxie just before we started this, don't worry that this is the longest part we've recorded thus far. This is like average length of when me and Helldragon do a part of Omega Ruby.
It's like Link's Awakening is pretty short if you just do the bare minimum. And that's not even like in the speedrunning context. This game can fly. This section before Dungeon 3 is one of the longest pre-dungeons in the whole game.
Something that Minish Cap would kind of take to stupid levels, to be honest. It's kind of why I haven't really gone back to Minish Cap in a long time.
To be fair, it has less dungeons, but agreed. It's just a kiss. Get over it.
I didn't ask to be kissed, lady.
Bad touch. Bad touch! I love these viewpoints that you get when you take the pictures. Just the Link model. It's so adorable.
This is like the only time Link has ever seen in this graphical design.
Pretty much. Also, look at the roof of the doghouse. How it's 2 circles. Like, I get that from the isometric view, the 2 circles make sense, but they literally translated it to the fact that the roof has 2 circles.
Watch out, cameraman! Hang on, he was coming for the camera, so why did the picture show him going after Link?
I don't know. This game is weird.
Hey, Link, I see you trying to peep on someone.
Hell yeah, I am. Wanna join me?
Sure. Now let's create some evidence so everyone knows we're peeping.
Photographic evidence. That's what the book is actually for. We're trying to discover who killed Laura Palmer.
Whoosh.
If you don't get it, it's Twin Peaks.
Okay.
Link's Awakening is fucking Twin Peaks. And I'm not saying that as a joke. They've stated that when they were writing the story and the cast for Link's Awakening, they based it off of Twin Peaks, and that makes this game so badass.
But there's another game that's kind of based on Twin Peaks, if the rumors are true.
Deadly Premonition?
Yep.
That's full blown. That's not even, oh, you can kind of tell. He talks to a Zack, okay?
Oh, Jesus. I watched the 2 best friends play run of that, and it was amazing.
Now you need to watch Twin Peaks.
They're coming out with a new miniseries of that, aren't they?
Yes, because at the end of the first run, it ends in a disgusting cliffhanger, and then they even mention, I'll be back in 12 years. 12 years later, we're getting it! And I'm so glad!
It's so deliciously meta, I'm not even mad, in fact, I'm kind of impressed.
It is. That is how Twin Peaks functions. Yeah, sure, season 1 is pretty much everyone in town having sex with everyone who isn't their spouse. But once you get past that, and you get to the actual freaky shit, it's the best thing ever. And it's pretty blatantly obvious that Link's Awakening is based off Twin Peaks, because this is the first time that you have a very odd cast of characters. Yeah, you had a lot of characters in Link to the Past, but not a lot of them are memorable. You have, what, Bug Catching Kid, bottle guy.
Ocarina Kid.
Okay, whatever. Link's Awakening introduced this cast of weirdos. You have this lady with a cat name that owns chain chomps. You have a guy who you can't talk to in person but has to use a phone. A fisherman who's obsessed with his trade. The entire village is full of whack jobs and it's delicious. And then they just carried it over to the rest of the series.
And then we got this guy who is not even the main character from a game, I think that translates into English as For Whom the Frog Tolls.
Essentially, the reason they threw this in here is because a lot of the mechanics of Link's Awakening are kind of taken from his game, so they figured, might as well put it in there. Which, this game, it's kind of weird how this game was made. It was actually an unsanctioned side project. When they were making A Link to the Past, who was it? Kazuaki Morita? He was one of the programmers. He had one of the Game Boy development kits, and he just decided to make a Zelda-like game on it. And what happened was, other people on the dev team for A Link to the Past joined in, and they essentially made like an after-school club of making this side project Zelda-like game.
That's pretty cool.
And that's actually part of the reason why we've seen so many not Zelda cameos, is because it was unsanctioned. They just did whatever. You wanted to throw in Kirby in this game? Sure, why not? It's not like this thing's gonna be released. But then Tezuka found out, and if Tezuka wasn't a total boss, he would have shut the whole thing down. Instead, he decided, make the game. Do it.
And bless him for that decision.
Exactly. And that sort of adds to the big question of Link's Awakening, is this a Zelda game? Because when they were actually writing the story, they were explicitly told to leave out things such as Zelda, the Triforce, Hyrule itself.
Yeah.
So, this game wasn't meant to be Zelda. They did their best to try and keep it not Zelda, but it's so Zelda, and it's very odd, and it adds to the whole uneasy, unsettling thing about Link's Awakening. I mean, I want to put this up there with Majora's Mask. At least Majora's Mask wears it on its sleeve. Like, hey, this game is going to be creepy, unsettling, and you know it.
Oh yeah.
Link's Awakening, it requires actual thinking about what the hell you're doing, and it's like, wow, this is weird.
Because there's a lot of cutesiness on the surface of Link's Awakening that just isn't present in Majora's Mask.
Exactly, it hides it so much better. I mean, going back to the cast of characters, you have all these people who are harmless, but are so weird and have these weird personalities. And then you have the monsters in the dungeon that can all talk. What?
Yeah.
Why? What is going on?
I always hate these enemies, the ones that have like coverings on, they have to like blow up or pick up.
I don't even bother with them. There's just no way to get out of them without taking some damage. We're just getting a bunch of seashells. Once again, if you're gonna 100% a game, you gotta show off the whole game.
Yep, there's gonna be a bit of filler here and there, but I think just judging by like, upload times and whatnot, this will be an afternoon part, those are always chill.
They're never all that bad. I think the most is probably like 15 minutes pre-dungeon, but this game moves at a pretty decent pace. My big issue recording it has just been timing stuff, like how much should I include before this dungeon? Should I get all of these or save those for later? It's a really it's an art in timing playthroughs. It's
like poetry at rhymes. But no, I said to Mexi, we've done so many like long videos with Ocarina and Twilight that it would just be best if you aimed for like a nice minimum of like 14 or 15 minutes. Nothing too short, otherwise that's just taking advantage of YouTube, really.
And that's the easy part. There is really nothing in this game. There's no segment that exceeds like 30 minutes. There's no 30-minute anything in this game. If anything, my issue has been lengthening, like finding enough stuff to fill up parts. But when you just sort of do a dungeon per part or all the pre-dungeon per part, it sort of fits. just a dick to monsters at this point. It's just whatever.
Well, they are called nightmares.
And this is the Seashell Shrine. We've already been here, but I was talking about stuff. If you come in with 5 shells, you get a free one. If you come in with 10, you get another free one. There are 26 in the whole game. You only need 20 to achieve the prize. However, if you claim the prize, the remaining 6 shells disappear.
So you can't get 100% if you go for the goods straight away.
You technically could, because on the main menu, the seashells go away. So if you're basing it off the definition that you're completing the main menu, you can just screw those 6 shells, but I kind of want to show all 26 and then get the prize.
Fair enough. Never underestimate the power of monkeys.
I love my case.
Well, kind of goes without saying, right?
And once again, this is another segment of the trading sequence that is mandatory. They decided to make trading sequences less mandatory as the series went on, but with this one, no. Gotta do it.
This is one of my favourites, though, but it may just be a bit of OG bias, though.
You're just an old boy, Tom.
So what are we doing in the castle here?
Well, Richard said that all of his men went mad, so I'm assuming that all these dark nuts are Richard's servants or his his peeps, and we're gonna kill them, and we're gonna get 5 gold leaves. Richard cares more about his gold leaves than his own men, which way to go, brah.
This is kind of like beating a dead horse in terms of jokes and whatnot, but Richard's a bit of a dick. Like, we were taking a photo. We'd literally just stepped outside his villa. And yeah, that is a villa, even though I don't think that's like the correct terminology to use. And he's like, have you done it yet? Why haven't you done it yet? Get me my gold leaves, peasant.
Yep. And then he's like, I'm gonna go wait in my house. I'm not running away. I'm not being a coward. I'm gonna head over there. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
I think you are, and we have pictorial evidence to the contrary, my friend.
It's also kind of weird that there's this castle here, because no one in the village acknowledges that there is any sort of royalty. So, is Richard the king of Koholint Island? Is this just a dude with a big house? So many questions! None of them answered. And that's just creating a shortcut there. You always need them.
It's not quite the Rainbow Bridge in Ocarina of Time, but I'll deal for now.
This leaf can be a little bit tricky if, you don't have a key eye for Zelda antics. But the enemy is behind the wall. Bomb him out, hit him with your sword.
Can you blow up the other one?
Yes, I believe so.
Does it contain an enemy?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Oh, there's that guy from Link to the Past.
Yep, once again, carried over the assets, because, hey, if you were gonna make a side project game while working on main game, might as well use the stuff you've already created.
That puzzle is not used anywhere else in the game, is it?
It's used. It's used a lot.
Oh, okay. I must be thinking of another thing that's kind of dickish then.
Yeah, no. It's actually very important that you commit that to memory, that some doors can be opened by throwing shit into them. Which, thinking about it is pretty badass. But then when you realize, wait, what? Everything just sort of falls apart in Link's Awakening when you give it that double thought. The game is essentially built on you not thinking about it. Just don't think about it, and you'll be fine. And if you do think about it, everything will blow your mind.
But Zelda conventions...
No Zelda conventions. This is Link's Awakening. We are making the conventions.
This ain't your daddy's Zelda.
No. Well, it actually could be, considering how old this game is.
Yeah, oh Jesus. Right, it's past the 20-year anniversary for the original version of the game. A few more years and then DX gets its 20th birthday.
Yeah, well, you can get this on 3DS eShop, so hey, anyone can enjoy the magic of LADX.
Also, the Oracle games?
Yes, the betters, the good ones. Which, there's a reason it took me a while to play Link's Awakening, is that by the time I got, really into Zelda, wanting to play them, go out and find them, I had already had the Oracle games. And so I would look at Link's Awakening and wait, this is just the Oracle games with really ugly text, which the text in this game is fucking ugly. Everything is italicized, and I don't know why.
The entire game is just sassy.
There should be kappa faces at the end of every sentence. But yeah, cause I just always played the Oracle games, never really felt a need to play Awakening, which is my bad. Bad NBM. No, play Link's Awakening. It's a pretty good game.
I'm gonna have to go back and play them, because I don't think I've ever completed them legit. Like, I was saying to Helldragon, I used the Game Shark or Genie or whatever the Game Boy equivalent is originally, and I got up to Veran, the final boss, in ages, and I couldn't beat her, because obviously I had skipped over dungeons, and I hadn't got a hook shot.
Oops. Get that slime key.
Ew.
There is a way to get here without, going through that whole grass maze, but it involves essentially initiating a screen transition while Link is falling, and it causes him to, instead of fall into a hole, he falls to the top of the screen. And it's just a way to bypass this maze, which if you need help with it, notice that on the edges there are small patches of short grass, because you can't put tall grass on an edge where Link is going to walk, because then he's going to spawn inside the grass. Cool. In my debt, can you, give me stuff?
What the hell?
Easter egg, man. If you chill out in this hut for a while, it takes a while. I forget how much. It's a couple minutes, so that's why it sped up really quick.
Okay, I thought this was actually in the game and something I hadn't seen before.
No, it's a musical Easter egg, so just enjoy the frogs.
Okay.
Look at them. They're so happy. Look at them.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I can't take any more.
Can't take the adorableness. It's coming, guys. I swear.
Oh, waiting for a musical cue. I think I know what's coming up, actually. Yep, there it is.
Okay, so the guys who did the music in this game, they were Minako Hamano and Kozu Ishikawa, which this was their first game, and I believe they knocked it out of the fucking park.
Oh yeah, it's a great soundtrack.
But in charge of sound programming and sound effects was Kazumi Totaka, who is famous in Nintendo Music Land, as he did the Mario Land 2 soundtrack. He did a couple Yoshi games, and he would later go on to be the voice of Yoshi. Yeah, when they transitioned from not using a record scratch played backwards, Totaka decided that he was going to be the voice of Yoshi.
So in Smash 4, he's voicing Yoshi.
He is voicing Yoshi, and in all games he's worked on, I think it's all of them, he has included a little song, a little jingle, and you just gotta find them. That's Link's Awakening's example, is you just gotta chill out in the house.
The one that goes do 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 do, which in and of itself sounds kind of familiar, actually.
It kind of reminds me of just a nursery rhyme jingle. But a lot of people seem to know the Mario Land 2 one and the Animal Crossing one.
I can give you another one. If you wait on the tutorial screen, or the instructions controller configuration screen in Luigi's Mansion, eventually it will play.
Yeah, he also did some music work on there too. So Key Cavern. Key Cavern is a pretty interesting dungeon in that your main goal for this is to get the boss key, get 4 keys, which is easier said than done. But we're already at the mini-boss, which are Dodongo snakes. This is probably the one carried over asset I don't like, because they're supposed to be Dodongos, but they look so lazy.
Yeah, and they're kind of annoying to fight as well.
There's a glitch there. If you kill one of them, exit, go back, the game thinks you killed both of them, so why bother killing both of them?
We haven't really commented on it yet, but the fairies are kind of different as well. They got these insect antennae.
Yes, maybe they just really wanted to go for Midsummer Night's Dream dealio there?
Oh Jesus, it's all Shakespearean and whatnot. Richie would love this stuff.
Where are you, Richie? I don't know the English.
He'll be back for ages, don't you worry.
Coolio. Dungeon item is the Pegasus boots. Once again, Link to the Past. And they're pretty cool for dashing. You can use them in conjunction with your sword. You can also use them in conjunction with your feather for longer jumps.
Yeah, I can't believe we haven't brought this up yet, but the fact that you can assign any 2 items you want.
Yeah. Normally your sword is attached. I would like to assume that there's a debate on whether sword belongs on your A button or your B button, which I will throw my hat in saying sword belongs on A, because sword was on A in Zelda 1. Just cuz. That is literally my rationale, because Zelda 1.
Well, the one that my thumb can sit most comfortable on is the one where the sword goes, in my opinion.
I needed to get those 200 rupees, like I said. This game has sort of a huge money crunch, and any rupee amount at this point in the game is greatly appreciated, especially since outside of one dungeon, there are only 1 unit rupees. There's no 5, 20, whatever, just ones. So it's really hard to get money outside of finding like those multi-hundred chests. And that made no sense. That is perspective at its finest.
Are these like evil bob-ombs?
You say that as if there's not evil bob-ombs.
Bob-omb Battlefield showed us that there could be cool guys.
Oh, I guess. I mean, there is Bobbery. I forgot about that.
Hey, yeah, don't shit-talk Bobbery, alright?
I mean, yeah, I never would. Like I said, the goal for this dungeon is just making sure you get 4 keys. The first half of this dungeon is kind of interesting in that pretty much every room drops a key, but in order to get into every room, it requires a key.
Yeah.
So, it's a weird sense of progression where you're not really going deeper into the dungeon, you're just eliminating all the wrong paths of the dungeon and then getting a key to once again try again. But once you know the correct path, you skip a lot of this dungeon, and not even by, you know, breaking the dungeon or whatever. It's just, no, there's an efficient way to get through the dungeon, and then there's the actual explory way to get through it.
Yeah, this kind of threw me off the first time I played.
And I know I didn't mention it before because I haven't really gotten any of the maps, but with the exception of one dungeon, all the dungeons in Link's Awakening have specific shapes, and they tend to coincide with their names. Key Cavern, if I were to get the map, looks like a key.
Of course, yeah, as you'd expect.
And I did this to show off just how big they were on the theme of this dungeon. The room before the final boss drops a key too.
What?
Yeah. It was literally just, we want to have you look for a key everywhere. If you don't charge into the wall, you'll actually fight infinite enemies that you could farm. But no, just use your boots to aim for the center and slice this dude in 2. Jump up so that you don't get hit with his shockwave and then bopped. And then do a spin attack. An easy peasy. Simple boss.
Slight resemblance to that one boss in A Link to the Past and also Majora.
Well, yeah. You can say that for every boss. This looks like a boss in another Zelda game. No shit.
All eyeballs just look the same to me. And that was kind of a weak, like, victory crescendo, let's be honest.
Sure. I mean, it's just a bell.
Yeah, who needs a bell? Anyway, well, I guess we do. If we're going to wake up the windfish. We'll see you next time, guys, for more Link's Awakening DX. Bye-bye.